Hey everybody, I wanted to bring to you this article that I think is extremely important. I think the source is credible. Again, I would never put anything out there that I didn't think was credible, but the title of the article is Red Alert, Russia and China planning simultaneous attack to eliminate the United States and occupy North America. J.R. Nyquist has conducted a bombshell interview with Mr. Wang from Lude Media, the same group that acquired a secret audio recording from high-level CCP military leaders in southern China that reveals China and Russia are teaming up to eliminate the United States and occupy North America. Now, the summary of the interview is as stated. According to Mr. Wang, the Chinese Communist Party is financing Russia's war in Ukraine. However, he says, Russia's best forces are not being used in Ukraine. They have been deployed in the Far East, prepared for action against America. According to Lude Media's sources, China will try to use nuclear blackmail and unrestricted warfare to collapse the United States while forcing Taiwan, Japan, and South Korea under Chinese control. Failing this, China and Russia will launch a full-scale war against the United States. The Russian and Chinese fleets will be united, not in the same ocean, but by attacking the same continent, North America. The Russians will attack through the Arctic, the Chinese through the Pacific. Now, here are the details of the interview. China is funding Russia's war in Ukraine. China used the fake COVID lockdowns to clear the streets in order to efficiently move military assets through major Chinese cities in preparation for the attacks on the U.S. loading ships with military gear. Military equipment is disguised as COVID response equipment, such as ambulances or public health vehicles. The PLA is using civilian communication frequencies rather than military frequencies in order to throw off America's military surveillance capabilities. Also, China plans to blockade Taiwan rather than invading it at first. The blockade will prevent Taiwan from receiving supplies of food, fuel, and medicine, and military assistance. Taiwan will later surrender after the U.S. is defeated according to the CCP's plan. Once Taiwan is blockaded, China will use unrestricted warfare and nuclear blackmail to try to isolate the United States while attempting to control the political spheres of Japan, Taiwan, and South Korea, asserting control over their exports and thereby denying such exports to the United States. This move, if successful, would collapse the U.S. economy virtually overnight. The supply chain of spare parts, electronic components, and consumer goods would immediately vanish. Now, unrestricted warfare includes cyber attacks, financial attacks such as denouncing the dollar and selling off all U.S. Treasury debt, biological weapons attacks, information warfare attacks, and even EMP attacks to disable the U.S. power grid. Russia's best military troops have not been deployed in Ukraine, but are being positioned for war against the United States and Canada. This means Russia has reserved its most capable troops for the real war with the U.S. Russia has not yet used its most powerful weapons in Ukraine, which could be deployed against the United States. Also, China is manufacturing weapons for Russia in a factory that is claimed to be a subdivision of the China North Industries Corporation. You guys can also watch this interview with Dr. Yan and J.R. Nyquist that was made 2 weeks ago about China's plans to attack America. What's important to remember is that China expects to absorb a retaliatory nuclear strike from the U.S. military after China unleashes its attack against the U.S. Chinese leaders reportedly don't care if they lose millions or even tens of millions of civilians in such attacks. They are already calculating this into their plan. Okay, so then I will include the link to this article so you can read more in-depth information. Again, I truly believe that this could be a real attack. We are seeing a lot of other sources commenting, with the borders and Canada, things that are going on in Canada. But again, I just encourage you to stay prayerful about this information. We are not giving this information to fear, but to prepare and to realize that this is a very real threat. With that said, God bless.